In the previous video we have discussed about the list which contains list. Let's try to use them. So let's see, like we have a list 1 which will have two lists inside it. So see the syntax carefully. The list 1 has started, which have another list inside it separated by a comma, which separates. How we separate the elements inside a list is by using a comma. So we are using comma to separate two lists which are part of list 1. Let's try to initialize the list first list inside list 1 by 1, 2, 3 elements, and the second list inside list 1 by 4, 5, 6 elements. Let's press enter. So the list 1 is created. If you print list 1, you'll find that the list 1 contains two lists as a part of it. We can again use the syntax of printing the element using indexes. What we can do is list 1, two exclamation symbols, and give index 0. Now it will print the first list of list 1. We can actually combine this index operation. For example, what we are doing is list 1, two exclamation symbols, and we are giving the index that we want to print. Now 4, 5, 6 is the second list inside list 1. Now what if we want to pick up element number 5 from the list 2 of list 1? So what we can do is, I want list 1's second element, which is 4, 5, 6, and to be very specific, let's pick up 5 from the second list of 4, 5, 6. We want to print 5, which is again at the index 1. So now if I press enter, it will print 5. So this is how you can use index operation to pick up a specific element from a list. Again, there is no limit on how many sublist a list can contain. For example, list 1 current definition is this. Let's modify this definition to list 1 is equal to contains two sublists separated by comma, and again first list contains two sublists. So let's initialize this all 1, 2, 3, let's say 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8, 9. Sorry, I've made somewhere I've made a bracket related mistake. Let me, yeah, it's okay. So here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, bracket completed. Yeah, I should take care of this. One small change is required is this, as this is a list inside a list. Now it should work. Yeah, so list 1, so we have a list which contains a list inside it, and there is no limit on how many such lists we can create. Now it is simply endless. Now let's say list 1 index 0. Now it has two lists inside it. So among these two indexes, let's say again we want 0th index, so we will use this syntax. So again 1, 2, 3 is the 0th index of list 1. Now let's try to access one of this. So list 1's 0th index element, 0th index element, 0th index element. Now we have finally 1 as output. If we just change this index to 1, then definitely guess the output. Hopefully you all guess the output that it is going to print as 4. So these are some of the operations that we can perform on the list. Let's continue. So let's try to print the first element inside a list 1. Let's create a basic list. Let's say L1 is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's print the first element inside list 1. List L1. What we can do is head L1. It will print the first element. Similarly, tail L1 will print the elements except the first element of the list. So this is 2, 3, and 4 is the tail of the list L1. We can print the last element. Let's say last L1. So 4 is the last element of L1. We can reverse it, reverse, reverse L1. It prints the list in a reverse order. We can, like head prints the first element, tail prints the elements except the first element, last prints the last element. What if we want to print everything in the list uh, except the last element? So in this case the last element is 4. So let's print the list except the last element, which is 4. So let's print L1 first again. So if I print L1, we have 1 2 3 4. Now if I print in it L1, then it prints the entire list except the last element. We can print the length of L1, so it gives that length is 4. So we have seen reverse. We can take the numbers and from the list, like for example take one number or two numbers from L1, so it takes first two numbers from L1. We can also say that drop two numbers from L1, it will take 3 and 4. So take and drop. There are, like, what we can do is let's say I want a minimum number from L1, which is 1. In the same way, I can also bring maximum number of L1, which is 4. We can take the list of all the elements, like a sum. We can take the sum of all the elements inside L1, 4. So if I sum L1, let's add the elements. 1 plus 2 is equal to 3. 3 plus 3 is 6, and 6 plus 4 is 10. So the sum of L1 is 10. So we also we can take the product of L1, so it is 24. You can calculate this. So these are some of the operations that we can do on the list. We will explore more about list in upcoming video. Thank you.